It is an all too familiar and heartbreaking scene, the solemn procession of law enforcement vehicles that follows a fallen first responder from the hospital to the medical examiner's office.
I'm a church-going person, so I'm not going to wish nothing bad on the person, but I just want them, I hope they catch him and he sit in jail and think about, you know what I'm saying, what he did to my nephew.
I hope they catch him because our cousin didn't deserve this. He's an outstanding person.
Now, as many know, Chicago, Illinois is a big, beautiful city with a lot to offer, and around 50 million people are said to go there each year on vacation. This city has an expansive skyline that runs alongside miles of beaches within the massive Lake Michigan. However, even with all its beauty and grandeur, Chicago is also home to a lot of gun crime and loss of life. What many blacks call the trenches is becoming a place more and more dangerous every day. Whether it's the GDs or BDs robbery, drill music, or simply street things, the south side of the city is no playground. Though the South is not the only side with bad crime, it is the side that's most familiar to people who are not from Chicago. In today's story, we will tell of a young man who was raised in Englewood area of Chicago and his path to greatness. Not only did he not become a product of his environment, but he thrived to be the best version of himself without compromising what he loved. His family, friends, and his elders played a big part in molding 31-year-old Rafael Wordlaw into an outstanding human being. Sadly, he was not able to reach the pinnacle of his life after one man selfishly saw fit to put out Rafael's flame that was burning so bright. 31-year-old Rafael Wordlaw, whom many call Law, had a plan in place to continue climbing the ladder of success in his life. Though he was born and raised in Chicago's South Side, he knew that he did not want to be a product of his surroundings. Rafael was definitely no stranger to what the streets around him brought, so he was set on elevating himself to not only make himself proud, but his parents as well. He was said to be very close with all his loved ones and was the one who always wanted to protect his family. One of his biggest influences in life was his father, who he called his twin because they looked just alike. Rafael was inspired by his father's hard work, and after he lost him in April of 2023, he made a promise that he was going to keep standing on business like his father would have wanted. Rafael said that his pops was one of the realest, flyest, sharpest men he knew, and the pair had an unbreakable bond. Even though the loss was beyond hard for Rafael, he continued to persevere, even though the timing was just a few months after losing his grandfather first. Both of those men set the foundation for his greatness at a young age, and he was very grateful for that. Before becoming an adult, Rafael attended Urban Prep Academy, a non-for-profit organization with a mission to provide a comprehensive, high-quality education that results in graduates succeeding in college. With that, 100% of Urban Prep's graduates have been admitted to college. Rafael had the pleasure to be a part of the first graduating class of 2010 with about 50 other distinguished young boys at the time. He would go on to attend Indiana State University from 2010 to 2015, graduating with a degree in criminal justice. Rafael often talked about his struggles but was excited about his future after graduation. He decided to start a career in law enforcement following in his father's footsteps, who was once a Chicago police officer. Rafael became a sheriff deputy and started working at Cook County in 2020 in Division 6. Life for the young man was treating him well, and he had found the recipe to success. However, this was just the beginning because he loved the finer things in life, and he had plans set in place to become an entrepreneur in the future. So whatever he wanted, he got by working extremely hard, and many called him a workaholic. Rafael was just an all-around good guy. Even though he made it out the so-called trenches, he remained true to who he was and never changed up on his day ones. He truly cared about his family and friends and loved to bring people together and make joyful memories. He was definitely leading by example and showing the kids where he was from another side of life. Now, even though he didn't have his own kids, he was truly a devoted uncle to his niece and his nephews who he loved tremendously, and they loved him just the same. Rafael was described by his loved ones as a very respectful person with positive energy, who was hilarious, humble, and respected everybody. He literally did him, stayed out the way, and elevated daily. Life was looking good, going good, and Rafael was preparing to bring in his 32nd birthday in a huge, huge way. He had the space already rented out, and everything was planned out to go down on his actual B-Day, August 10th, 2024. So many people were looking forward to the party and celebrating Rafael's life, but a stop to get some gas in the very early morning hours of July 30th, 2024, changed the trajectory of his life forever. According to authorities, Rafael was returning home from a party early Tuesday morning with his close friend, who drove separately. His friend needed gas, so the two decided to stop at the Clark gas station on 505 East 67th Street in the Woodlawn neighborhood around 1:20 a.m., literally a few blocks away from the infamous O Block. Now, this gas station is one of the most dangerous and notorious places for people to lose their lives over the years. However, they must have been in the area and decided to stop there. Rafael didn't need gas, but he wanted to make sure his friend did not go to this unsafe location alone at that time of morning. While getting gas, a man approached Rafael and his friend and drew 2 guns on them, including one with a drum magazine, before ordering the friend to empty his pockets. Rafael then pulled his weapon and shot at the suspect and hit him in the leg before the suspect returned fire. As the suspect was shooting, he hit and damaged Rafael's gun, so he could not continue shooting, according to law officials. The suspect then continued to shoot at the 2 friends as he backed away, wounding Rafael in the chest. Rafael's friend, a 30-year-old man, was grazed in the ankle and face during the shootout, in which the suspect shot at the men over 69 times. Remarkably, though both friends were hit, they were able to get in their separate cars and drive off. Rafael would only get about a half a mile away before crashing into a pole on the 6700 block of Indiana Avenue, police said. After the crash, 911 was alerted and Rafael was rushed to University of Chicago Medical Center, where he was pronounced sadly unalive at 1:50 a.m., just 30 minutes or less after arriving at the gas station. Now, the alleged suspect, who was later identified as 32-year-old Cordarrow Thompson, went by the street name Jughead and apparently was no stranger to the law. The police were able to link him to the crime after he fled the gas station when he went to the local hospital. Cordarrow first went to Insight Hospital in Bronzeville around 2:15 a.m. Tuesday with a gunshot wound to his right thigh. He gave the hospital staff an alias and a false location of where he was shot at before leaving Insight and taking 2 different ride shares. First to 18th Street and Michigan Avenue at 2:50 a.m., and then Northwestern Memorial Hospital about an hour later. However, the hospital reported him and the police were able to link him to the crime, and in less than 3 hours, he was apprehended. Neither weapon Cordarrow was accused of using in the crime was recovered, according to authorities. Early preliminary investigation results suggest Cordarrow used at least one gun equipped with a conversion device, or what many may know as a switch, which is powerful enough to do over 30 rounds in 2 seconds. When he was tested for gunshot residue, it did come back positive, while DNA testing matched his bodily fluids recovered from the scene.
Today, a scene that we have witnessed all too often. This solemn procession for a Cook County Sheriff's deputy shot and during attempted robbery in Woodlawn this morning.
That deputy, an Inglewood native and a dedicated 4-year veteran of the department, was off duty at the time.
A man with an extensive criminal background now charged with shooting this week of an off-duty Cook County Sheriff's deputy.
2 families is destroyed in this violence in this city, and it has to stop.
The victims' loved ones and the Cook County Sheriff's Department devastated by the loss of Deputy Rafael Wordlaw.
And he told his mom that he wanted to be a hero like his dad.
Wordlaw, the son of a Chicago police officer, walking in his father's footsteps until a would-be armed robber with a gun in each hand, police say, opened fire.
How in God's name can we have someone firing off 69 rounds?
One of the firearms, according to federal investigators, altered with a dangerous device.
Cordarrow has 5 prior felonies and has did a combined 18 years in jail. His most recent conviction was in 2020 for unlawful use of a weapon by a felon. He was released under mandatory supervision in January 2023, which ended in January 2024, police stated. I do find it so sad that a person commits horrible crimes over and over and was still able to be on the streets to take a life of a good man. A wonderful person that has so much positivity to bring the world. What this coward did to Rafael was tragic in the worst way. Authorities are charging Cordarrow with first-degree unaliving, attempted first-degree unaliving, attempted armed robbery, aggravated battery, and discharge of a firearm and several other felonies. During his first hearing, a judge ordered him held pending trial. Prayerfully, he will never be out on the streets again to destroy another family's life. Rafael meant so much to his family, friends, and co-workers. He was truly more than an officer. He was real. He was solid. He was a good cop, one we truly needed in America. Rafael did not even get the chance to get married, have children, and he had so much more life to live. A few years back, he wrote on Facebook and said, "Chicago literally unalives everybody, bro. No more outstanding. No more big names." This was after he lost a friend. But what makes this statement more gut-wrenching now is because he was outstanding. He was a big name to all who loved him, and Rafael's life mattered. My thoughts and prayers go out to all who now have a part of their heart missing from such a tragic loss. So please don't forget to comment your thoughts and prayers for this family in their difficult time, and hit that like button and share to make your people aware. And as always, remember to stay woke. Things change quickly.